Veritas.
Hi, I'm Dr. Rick Saccone, and I want to talk to you about how the leftist demonstrators and looters in America today are similar to the Communist Red Guard of China in the 1960s. This is number 10 in a series of videos on issues facing our country. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow my series on Veritas, Truth is Freedom. You have all been stunned by the terror, looting, and destruction on the streets of America today, initially disguised as peaceful protest. Many of these people are the shock troops of the radical left, determined to ultimately install a leftist-controlled government. They much resemble the Red Guards of China's Mao Zedong, the greatest mass murderer in history. In the late 1950s, Mao decided to consolidate power by launching what he called the Cultural Revolution. Under it, Mao unleashed savage packs of indoctrinated, fanatical youth against all of conventional Chinese society. The gangs were called the Red Guards, and they were vicious. Their orders were to erase the old ways and institute fresh ideas. They did this by seizing members of the Chinese professional class, teachers, doctors, scientists, scholars, shop and landowners, beating many and forcing them into public humiliation. These captives had to write confessions about class guilt. Sound familiar? But that was the least of it. Mao's Cultural Revolution, his great leap forward, killed 45 million people, more than Hitler and Stalin killed. The Red Guards went on fiery rampages, destroying historic monuments, temples, and shrines. They also suppressed speech, burned books, and published totally false accounts of Chinese history that children were forced to memorize. Again, does this sound familiar? Look at the flood of apologies from public figures today, like NFL star Drew Brees. He issued a statement in defense of the flag and was immediately set upon as a racist. He retracted the statement and apologized in humiliation. Numerous other prominent figures, businesses, and organizations have done the same, in a national gush of guilt. Because the left claims the United States is hopelessly, systemically racist. Nonsense. The United States spearheaded abolition of slavery in the Western world. No nation has spent anywhere near the money that we have on anti-poverty programs, both per capita and total, about $25 trillion. There's a strong black middle class, an increasing black professional class. More than 80% of immigrants are non-white. Indians enjoy the highest per capita income in the country. And the Senate, just this week, approved a black four-star general as the Air Force Chief of Staff. But somehow that's not enough. Now let's look at the police. A study by a black Harvard professor found that race is not a factor in police shootings of blacks. Listen, there are 800,000 police officers in the United States and 300 million police-citizen interactions every year. Out of those, a tiny percentage become violent. Sure, some officers will make mistakes. Some will act out of malice. But blacks, at 13% of the population, commit more than 50% of murders and 60% of robberies. And so they encounter police at a far higher rate than whites. And many of them are armed. But that doesn't seem to matter. Los Angeles is planning to slash hundreds of millions of dollars from the police budget. Some leftist city councils have voted to disband the police altogether. New York City may cut $1 billion from police funding. Folks, this is not about black lives. If it were, it would be protesting the epidemic of black-on-black crime or abortion clinics that kill many times more black babies than white. No, the secret is, this is all about achieving power. Yes, we're seeing a form of the Red Guards in the U.S. today. Thugs taking control of the streets, killing, burning, and looting. With the support of some far-left Democrats, like the mayor of Seattle and the governor of Washington. Remember how Red Guards destroyed historic monuments? In America today, our most cherished monuments in Washington, D.C. are defaced. Statues depicting the history of the greatest nation are toppled. Now they are calling for the removal of the Jefferson Memorial and the Washington Monument. Had enough? The tragic death of George Floyd is being transformed into a wedge, a tool for the communist left to promote a race-based dictatorship. We must confront and defeat this evil that is trying to destroy our nation. Are you ready to defend your liberty? Until next time, in God we trust. Don't forget to like this video and comment if you want to see more.